We're going live. Let's see. It says we are on live, so I'll make sure I watch my mouth right now because I'm fired up.
I'm sure you are.
Woo. Let's see who's out here in real estate land today. I see a few people have joined us, so welcome, 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 guys. It's Talk to Tameka Tuesday, and I've got this background noise going, but I'll get through it. So who's here with us? Who's joining us today? Because this is all about people being ready and showing up ready, so you don't have to get ready. I tell you.
That's right.
And I have all kind of foolishness going on this technology here. Hey, Latoya. So okay, so I know that people should be able to hear us. Hello, hello, hello. And really, we could just jump right into it because folks can go back and watch the uh, replay of this or whatever. So I try not to spend a whole lot of time waiting for folks to kind of join us. They can catch the replay. So I was just trying to make sure everybody can hear us. So hopefully everybody can hear us okay, because I think what we're talking about today, thank you for letting me know you guys can hear us, is so very important to your business. And we titled this today, Stay Ready So You Don't Have to Get Ready. Right? So I want you guys to welcome my guest today, Renata McCormick.
Hey, y'all.
And Renata has actually, I met Renata through a Facebook group. And then she came to a couple of classes. Next thing I know, we were working together one-on-one coaching for that crazy 7 weeks. And it's been, for you, I'm sure, a journey.
Yeah.
And I'll let you talk about all of that in a second, but I just wanted to let folks know that this business life that we enter into is never a dull moment. And so we're talking about you have to stay ready. You have to stay ready for everything.
Everything.
Everything. And I'm not even going to go on into my story for today because that's a whole nother topic. I know what I'm dealing with right now, but I had to run on because I knew, we had scheduled this and this was important. But I got my attorneys on hold right now. I'm like, I'll be right back to you guys. Let me do this Talk to Tameka Tuesday because it is important. But Renata, go ahead and tell the people about yourself and what you do. And then we'll go into how we got to this space today that was totally different than a week ago or 2 weeks ago. So tell everybody what you're doing.
Okay, so most of you know I'm Renata. I specialize in infill development projects. So what I do is I take land that may have had a house or is in a neighborhood that no longer has a home, and I build a house there. My past, I've flipped homes. I still do a little bit of that. I do a lot of things, but to niche it down, right now my focus is infill development projects because it's a little easier to get into development that way, especially if it's a lot where a house was already there. So you're kind of ahead of the game instead of getting raw land that you have to do infrastructure and all that on. So that's my focus right now. I have, as Tameka said, I did the coaching program with Tameka. I learned a lot from September till now, actually. I met Tameka in September. So from September to now is totally different. My mindset is different. A lot of things that I used to do. I've owned businesses before meeting Tameka, but they've never advanced to, where I am now. And that's because of a lot of things that she taught me, as far as to get my business developed and, processes and procedures, and the business being able to run, with me not being the only person doing everything. So that was a big thing for me, because my past three businesses, I did everything. So that was a big learning curve for me.
And so, one thing that do you guys hear an echo, or is it just me hearing this echo?
I don't hear one.
Okay, good. Then I want to take this thing off my ear because it's driving me insane. But the one thing that happened a couple of weeks ago is within the Facebook groups. I said, "Hey, just one," and this happened about a month ago. Let me go back, guys. So within, some people are saying they hear an echo. So I don't know what that is all about. Let me see if I can lower something. So Renata, you're the only one who doesn't hear echo, but everybody else hears an echo. Ooh, I hate that part, guys, because that's not good for you guys listening in. I have
Well,
my
somebody said it's gone now. Tawanda said it's gone now.
okay. So we get I'm talking to Ebony, one of the co-founders of one of the Win Group, and I said, Ebony, I think it might be a good idea to start taking people and taking them into some of these environments that I'm in, right? And connecting them to see what's out there, what's out there, what's at this next level. And so she's like, yeah, that might be really really good. So I said, okay, well, what I'm going to do is when there's an opportunity that comes up that I think will work, I'll put it out there. So if you guys, some of you remember who were in Win, I posted a post and I said, if you were going to be in the room with several millionaires and even a few billionaires in the room, what would you do? You have a product or service that you would want to pitch to them? And some people were like, oh man, I knew this was coming. I knew this was coming. I knew she was going to tell us because I always said to you guys, what? Stay
Be
ready.
ready.
You
Yep.
don't have to get ready because you never
Mhm.
know when an opportunity is going to drop in front of you. So some of you
Mhm.
guys had sent information in to me, emailed it to me. Some of it was good. Some of you had thought out plans and things like that. But when Renata's plan came in, and this was the difference, guys, the difference in her plan and why her plan was chosen and why she was chosen to come with me was that in her plan, she was able to tell me what it was. A lot of you could do that. She was able to tell me how much money she needed. Okay. So, again, another thing I've always said to you guys is how much in, when you're asking for money, you have to know how much in, how much out,
And
and
win.
when, right? So, her
Mhm.
proposal included that. It said, "Hey doc, this is how much money I need for my project. This is how much money I'm going to give the person back, their return, and when." So when you guys are putting proposals together and wanting people to fund a project for you, you've got to be able to answer those questions. So if you have any product or service that is out there and you want somebody to invest in your company or whatever it is, you got to answer that for an investor, because an investor is saying to themselves, if I've got my money over here gaining 5% and Renata comes to me with a project that's going to get me 15%, I need to know how much money it's going to, how long, if I take my money out of this 5% vehicle and put it over here to get 15%, when am I going to get this back? So,
Mhm.
real capitalist guys who are multimillionaires and billionaires, they may be interested in your product, the what, a little bit, but they're more interested in making that money.
Mhm. It's
And
about them.
that's it. That's
Definitely
it.
about them.
And
Mhm.
so I chose Renata's, you know, what is that? Her proposal. I looked at her thing, I said, "Hey, Renata," and she'll tell you, I went back and forth with her up until the day.
Yeah, I
I
was just
knew
about to say it wasn't that easy. Yeah, I sent her those numbers and she drilled me after that to make sure I knew what I was talking about.
that's right, because
Yep.
one thing you'll know, guys, is that I'm real focused on building a person's net worth. And so if you're not ready to go to that next level, then to put you in the room with people who can help you get to the next level and you're not ready, it you get sometimes one time to make an
Mhm.
impression on people.
Yep.
That's it. That's it.
Yep.
So to drill you down was to make sure you were ready for those
Mhm.
same kind of questions that they were going to ask. So
Yep.
her knowing what her returns needed to look like, so it didn't scare people, asking her about her numbers, even down to the time we were sitting down in the group, and I'm like,
Mhm.
"Shut up, I'm just asking. You got this ready?
Yep.
You got this ready?"
Yep.
And and she
Yes,
had her
she did.
numbers. And she had her numbers. And so, Renata, if you just want to tell the folks like what your experience was like, because the sometimes I'll post where I'm going, sometimes I don't. But the people who were in the room, I actually left her there because after a certain time, I'm all peopled out. In case y'all don't know, I'm an introvert, so I'm looking for an escape. The minute I get into the room. After a while, I'm like, okay, 8 hours with you folks, it's time to go. So I left Renata there so that she can mix and mingle with people who were there as well. So, guys, and if you got questions about what the experience was like, go ahead and drop them. She'll tell you. But I just think it's real important for you guys to be ready, to
Yep.
just stay ready, so
Yep.
that you don't have to go back and do this. So if I call for another group of proposals to find the right person to do anything, your stuff has to be together. You can't be like, I'm gonna, oh, I wish. I'm not looking for
Mhm.
people who I'm wishing. You wishing. You got to go over there with the wishing. This is for people who want to do, because when it's time to level up, you guys got to be ready.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and I don't know, from the day one that you walked in the door and they checked you in, I don't know what happened. I was like, it's food over there. I'm going to sit over here because there was all kind of presentations and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
so I know Renata I saw her taking at least 4 pages of notes. I don't
I
know
got
what
about
else.
7 pages.
I don't know what else is in there.
Yeah,
So
about 7 pages.
what were some of the takeaways for you during that experience?
Um, the main thing, one of the main, well, a lot of it really is a lot of stuff that you tell us a lot. A lot of it is stuff that I've heard you say. But one of the main things was, sometimes you have to take sacrifice. You have to make a sacrifice, to be able to get to the level you want to be. And for me, I've never flown before until I went to Utah. My first time,
Wow.
never. Never. My first time flying, my oldest daughter she'll be 21 in May. Most of the time, when I go on a trip, I take my kids with me. So this is my first time going by myself and my first time flying. But when you said be there, this is where you need to be when you need to be, I'm gonna be there. And just like I told them, whatever it takes for me to be there, because this is a one time, once in a lifetime opportunity, I'm gonna do it. But one of the guys there, he talked about, making sacrifices and how when he scaled his business, he was away from his family a lot. And, he had to do that. That's what he had to do, to get to where he is now. And now he can enjoy, being with his family and going on trips and stuff like that. But initially you have to be committed to what you're going to do. You have to make up your mind and decide what you're going to do. You can't, I'm going to do this thing today and then next week is something different because you see somebody else doing that. Everything is not for everybody. And Tameka, we see a lot of things in the group, a lot of different things that people are doing, but everything is not going to work for everybody. So you have to decide, make up your mind, study that thing, whatever it is, and then focus on that and, make it better. I'm always reading. I'm always learning. I was up reading today about stuff, so I'm constantly learning different things. But the experience, um, I talked to a lot of people. That was different for me too. I wasn't used to, telling people what I do. I hardly ever post stuff on Facebook. I mean, people in my family don't even know hardly what I do until now. I started posting stuff on Facebook, talking to more people about what I do, and that came from Tameka talking to me about that, and she telling me to read that book, Go for No. Um, One of the guys at the conference said that two things that make you successful are I'm looking at my notes, the people you surround yourself with and the books that you read. So it was the recommendation of books from Tameka. I heard Tameka speak on another platform outside of Win, and she recommended another book. I read that book too. So and some other books that people recommended, I read them. But you just have to be mindful of who you surround yourself with. Everybody doesn't want to see you advance or be successful. So I know a lot of you have heard, the saying, it's not who you know. I mean, it's not what you know, it's who you know in a lot of cases. And a lot of people I spoke to at a conference, they told me no. I got like maybe 9 no's or 9 people saying, I'm not interested in that, or, that's not the direction I want to go in. But I made connections with people, with several people that will get me where I want to go. Of course, they weren't going to write me a check, when they first saw me because they don't know me. But I was able to, speak to them and get my name, get my name out there, give them my card, tell them what I do. And I've connected, I spoke to 2 of them yesterday since, and we just came back on Friday. So, it was a time for me to make the connections that I need to make in order to get me where I want to be. And just like the tour that we have coming up, that's a perfect time, for us as a group in the group to network and find out, what do people do and talk to people and connect with people.
Now, one of the things I thought was when you first came through the door, because I knew you from Zoom or in the group, but
Mhm.
it was like, oh,
She's
there's
a
a
real
human.
person.
She's a real person, right?
Oh, I probably had different hair too, cause I changed that up quick.
Yes. Yeah. I was like, oh, it's the real person. I said, but she looks different. Her hair is different. I was like, she's shorter than I thought she
Yeah.
was. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. So it's funny that that initial meeting when we don't
Yep.
meet people, like we know each other
Mhm.
online, but then
Yep.
when the humans connect, it's like, oh, or I didn't, see her in a while or whatever it was. So that was
Mhm.
that was funny. And
Yeah.
then guys, one some of the other things that were happening with those dynamics, and Renata handled them very well. So for her not to have ever flown, and especially flying to Utah, guys. And I want you guys to
Mhm.
understand everything I was doing with Renata was a test to see if she
Mhm.
was going to be able to do this.
Mhm.
So I didn't
Even down
call
to the
her.
even down to the message where she said it's a short notice, so you might not want to. You may want to wait till next time. I said, yeah, this is a test. No, I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting. I'll be there. Just let me know where, when, and where, and I'll be there. So
And how
I knew
many
I
days?
knew
How
that was a test.
how many days? How many days was that you got the notice? Because I want people to understand this wasn't. I gave her 3 weeks notice, and she had time to do
It was
this,
about 4 days.
bag
About
and
four
all that kind
days.
of stuff. So I know one thing, she spent more for her ticket than planning out what was going to happen. I did the same thing because I didn't know I was going to go 2 weeks in advance. I actually wasn't going to go until one of the owners called me and said, hey, are you going to be here? We want to connect you to this person or this person. One of the things that happens in that particular location is Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank's training. One of his call centers is there. Renata went through and saw some of his staff and met some of his staff. So they're back there, and there was some stuff happening and that I wanted to connect with. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll just go for a couple of days. And while I'm going, I'm gonna take one of my girls with me or take somebody with me who I know can benefit from meeting my network. And that's the one thing that's important, guys, because when I introduce you guys to level you guys up, the one requirement that I have is that you level somebody else up. But that when
Mhm.
you level them up, you make sure they're ready.
Yep.
And not everybody is ready. And I need you guys to recognize when people are ready. It doesn't mean they don't have it in their heart. Their heart may be here and their feet can't catch up to them.
Mhm.
Okay. And so I open up a lot of opportunities to a lot of people, and a lot of people have excuses. Oh, I don't know if I got the funds to do it. Now, you don't have the funds to get a flight, but you got the funds to go get a new purse.
Mm.
Or you got the fun. Okay, you really not ready to sit in this room with these millionaires. You really not ready to change this lifestyle. You really are, whether you intimidated or what. And in this kind of a situation, guys, I know that Renata did not know exactly what she was walking into, but she
Nope.
still walked in with confidence. There were only, I don't know how many people total were in that room,
Yeah, I'm
but
not sure.
there were only 4 African Americans in there.
Mhm.
There were only 3 black women in there, and 2 of them were
Mhm.
us.
Yep.
Okay. The rest of this room, and then there were probably 3 other women of different, whether they were white or whatever.
Mhm.
Rest of this room of probably 50 so plus people were men.
Yeah. Yep.
These were wealthy men with different kinds of, work and different kind of companies, and whether they were in real estate or products or whatever. And when they stood up, and I don't know if you remember when Andrew stood up and he said, "Why are we here?"
Mhm.
Do you remember the part
Yep.
that stuck out? What came from that when he said, "Why are we here?" He said,
Well, he said we were here to make money. Well, he was there to make money. He
"That's
brought
right,
everybody there because he wanted to make money, and that was his thing. And I was there to get money, so perfect match.
right." And they intentionally were networking, and that's what they were doing. And they were saying, if you got a product, stand up. If you got money, stand up. If you got a product that or service that needs money, stand up so y'all can connect. And
Mhm.
then, you
Yep.
know, everybody was there, and that's an intentional, guys. That's an intentional group, and that's where you guys have to be. You have to be in a space that's intentional.
Mhm.
We're here to make money.
Yep.
That's why we're here. It's like when you go to church, you're there to praise and worship. I don't know why when people show up with their businesses or to network, it becomes like nobody want to talk about the the big thing. We're here to make
Yep.
money. I'm
Yep. And that's
connected.
exactly what he said about money. He said money is and he doesn't understand why money is an uncomfortable topic. It's an uncomfortable topic. I mean, it used to be that way for me too, until going through the coaching and things with Tameka. But I wouldn't ask people for money back then, just because I was afraid of them telling me no. But now I don't. It doesn't bother me now. By the time Friday, no, was it Thursday night? Thursday
Mhm.
night. By the time Thursday night came, people were coming up to me saying, "What can I help you with?"
That's right.
People were approaching me saying, where can I help you? What can I help you with? What can I help you do? But that's because I kept moving around and talking to people, and even if one person, wasn't interested in what I was doing, they told somebody else. So
Mhm.
by the time, I had people coming up to me, and I'm a new person in the room.
That's
So
right.
yeah, I was you talking about out of the comfort zone. I was way out of my comfort zone, but you have to get uncomfortable. I didn't let them see that I was out of my comfort zone. I didn't let them see that I was new, because you have to be what was one of the things was it's your mindset. Whether you can do something or you can't do something, you're right. Because if you tell yourself you can't do it, then you can't do it. You have to change your mindset and have it in your mind that you can do it.
Right.
So, yep.
And that's the big piece about everything we're doing, everything we want you guys to know about, leveling up whatever business you're in. It's this network that you guys are building around you. And if it can't grow and expand you, then you shouldn't be there if you really truly want to dig into your business. So some people in the groups were asking you, like, tell us about this or tell us about that or share. And I was like, she got 4 pages of notes. So she can share a whole bunch of stuff. But if y'all have questions, go ahead and post them about her experience and things like that, because who knows if she's going to come back into the group. She's going on to her next level with whatever else she's working on over there, her infill development. She is one of the sponsors for the upcoming tour, guys. So make sure if you're in North Carolina that you connect with her. That's there. So many people want to get into development and all these other things. And I'm like, do you guys really have what it takes? Because
Yeah,
it
it's not
takes a
easy.
level, yeah, it
It's
takes a
not easy.
level of, perseverance and
Hmm.
everything. And one thing that
Especially as
people,
a female.
oh yeah, and one thing
Yeah.
people didn't know, Renata, is during our coaching, we had to come up
Mhm.
with a plan for you to quit your job
Mhm.
because you had
Yeah.
to go full throttle. You can't
Yep.
half ass, these
Yeah.
businesses. Everybody's trying to do, let me do 3 companies. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You can't half ass. One thing that
Mm-mm.
was clear, and I'm going to tell this to the folks who got nonprofits and all, is some people trying to do nonprofits on the side. If you're going to commit to a nonprofit, you want your nonprofit to show up like that nonprofit that I used to work with and like the nonprofit who was there in the room. How much money did we raise in that room? And we didn't even contribute.
A
How
hundred
much
and nineteen thousand dollars. A
and
hundred and nineteen thousand dollars in
119,000 in
$5 minutes.
5 minutes was raised for
Mhm.
that nonprofit. You know why? Because that's all that nonprofit does. That's all that
Mhm.
executive director does. He works on his business so he can get around a group and that group can support that nonprofit. So many folks are trying to, I'm going to do a nonprofit over here, and then I'm going to do a real estate company over here, and then I'm going to coach over here, and then I'm going to do that. You can't do 6 businesses and think they're all going to be successful. You got to do one really, really well, get it up off the ground, get it funded, get staff before you go to the next one. Because then at that level, then you can sit in a room like they did and raised $119,000 in 5 minutes,
Mhm.
and that was
Yep.
without our contributions.
Exactly. Yep.
And when they left, that's
That
the
was
power of
unbelievable.
your.
I never seen anything like that before in my life. 5 minutes. $119,000
Yeah,
in 5 minutes. And all he did was get up there and tell people what he does.
what his mission is. And
Yep.
again, look at the passion he had behind his
Yeah.
company.
Yeah.
So that's the key, guys. I mean, we can raise a lot of money for nonprofits, but it goes back to the person who's leading. What are you most
Mhm.
passionate about? If
Mhm.
every time something comes out of your mouth, it's, well, I do hair and I do real estate and I do this and I do that, you're not believable. Like, why would I put my money into you? At that level, if you're not going to even be 100% into the thing you want me to invest in.
Right.
So that was a huge, thing. I hope the people in that room got that, because as a, fundraiser,
Mhm.
that's what we look for. We're going to go for the company and the exec that this is what they do. This is all they do. Like, we know that their passion and they're 100% in there. I'm not going to put my money into something that I know you're not focused on.
Right. They
I'm just
definitely don't want to see you all over the place. They definitely don't want to see that. That's too much of a risk for them, if they don't feel like you're focused on what you're doing.
And that's what the key thing of when they went around and asked people, what do you hear and what do you do? And the one of the people said, well, I have what did they 1,800 doors, multifamily.
Right. Multifamily. Mhm.
And so the guy said, look, if we want to invest in multifamily, we might as well do it with them, because that's all
Mhm.
they do. They're
Yep.
good at what they do. They have 1,800
Mhm.
doors between the two of
Mhm.
them. So why would I start my own multifamily investing when I
Right.
can just put my money over there, let my money work?
Exactly. Yep.
You
Oh,
know,
that was
so
another thing too about money working. He said that he explained that in order to win at the money game, you have to understand how money works, and it has to continuously move in order for you to make money. So you can't sit on the money if you want to make money. So if you want to invest in real estate, but you're afraid, or but you have the capital, or you don't have enough experience to do it, partner with somebody that does. Let your money work for you. So, I mean, just like Tameka talks about the 3 C's: cash, creativity, or credit. So if you only have one, partner with somebody that may have another thing. And then, that's where you can get your experience from, or get your cash from, or whatever the case may be.
now I know one of the people I went specifically to meet with. Remember, and this is how when you network within groups, if I know what Renata's looking for and she knows what I'm looking for, when we're networking, we're listening out for the other person. And so while when I left Renata, I said to her, follow up with this guy to see, thank him for this or that for my contact that I needed. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna report to you that I meet with that contact that I wanted to meet with
Mhm.
tomorrow morning at 11:30.
Okay, and I met with the guy, the smaller guy that I talked to for you yesterday. So yeah.
Right. And the people we're talking about, guys, there's companies like they they're number one in this whole entire industry. So the number one appraisal company in the country is who Renata was sitting right next to
Mhm.
and who she was connecting, and we went to dinner with them and stuff like that.
Yep.
So guys, to be the number one appraisal company is to do more than 1,500 appraisals a day through your company. Can
Mhm.
you imagine doing 1,500 transactions that the systems processes you have to have are there? And the person I was wanting to meet is the number two fund developer. I mean, number two, he gives out the most loans in the
Mhm.
country. In the country, so we're talking very high level people in terms of what they do in their industry. They're normally at the top of their industry is this circle. And so that's why I said for me sometimes guys, I got to go all the way to the top of each of these industries to do what I need to do. So when I'm speaking to you and telling you guys stuff is not something I read, it's something I'm doing. And from
Mhm.
the people, and I don't know if there were 9 speakers, but they had people from all different kinds of segments who were there
Mhm.
speaking about sales or marketing or empowerment. There was all kind of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So that's what made it a good session, is that you were there to learn from the speakers as well, but
Right.
also network when we had downtime, because every time there was a break, folks was networking,
Yep.
pulling out phones,
Yep.
all kinds of stuff was happening.
Mhm.
I'm talking over there to Bridger, whose dad has the largest fund in
Fun.
the
Yeah.
country, second largest fund in the country. I'm talking 60, 70 billion dollars, is what their companies are worth and stuff like
Yep.
that. And we're sitting right next to them,
Yep.
and
I met
talking
with
to
him yesterday too.
them. Yeah.
I met with him
So
yesterday. So.
it's like, guys, you got to narrow down what it is you want to do and then go after it and get the bag to chase you in that space. Working, trying to do 3, 4 things, you're only going to be mediocre at best. And who wants to deal
Mhm.
with mediocre?
That's right.
I mean, there are a lot of people who want to deal with mediocre. I take that back because there are a lot of average people. But if you're
Yeah.
trying to be above average, and you need to be above average if you're planning on doing development, if you're planning on doing some of this stuff, that's above average, kind of things. So,
Mhm.
perfect example, the tour is coming in. We got 3 tour dates coming up. And if folks are talking about they want to meet developers and stuff like that, I suggest y'all find your way, because it's a limited number of tickets that we're even gonna have. And the people who are on that tour, we're there for one reason. We're
Mhm.
coming into those cities to make money.
Make
It's
money. That's
no
right.
joke. We're coming in to make money with you or whoever is in that room, whoever's from that city who's got a project, whoever we can partner with. And then that last tour date that's in Atlanta, it's all development related. So all those folks who are talking about they want to be in development, I'm bringing my developers in there. I'm coming with checklists of what you got to know to clear ground, all of that kind of stuff. So if you miss this opportunity, that's on you. You can't
Mhm.
ever say that nobody presented these opportunities to you guys. And for those who are here and watching, the next time I go and do something, and I'm like, okay, who's got something ready? Y'all better be ready.
Yep. Stay ready, y'all.
So, can you see any of those questions, Renata? Because I don't want to I want to make sure I don't miss anyone's question.
I see somebody ask, I understand you had an appraisal. Is that the same as a business plan? No. A business plan is an overall plan of your business, but my proposal was based on the project, a particular project. So, the numbers for that particular project is what was included in the proposal.
Yeah,
That's the only one I see.
and it doesn't. It can depend on what you guys are bringing with you. It's just, do you know your business well enough to then be able to tweak whatever the next go round? So if you're in a group of people who just want to make money with you, or you're trying to get the relationship, they don't want to see a whole business plan at that point. Like, you can arrange to have that done later. You're there to
Mhm.
really connect and mingle. And like, I left before the evening event. Renata
Yeah.
went to play pickleball. Is that what
Yeah.
they were doing? Playing pickleball
They were
and doing
playing,
that.
but yeah, some of them were playing, but a lot of us were still networking and talking because we did have a private room off to the side and we had food and everything. So yeah, some people played though.
Right. So they had some pickleball thing going on. I was already gone. I went to the airport because I didn't get any sleep, so it was time for me to go. Uh, after a while, I was like, the cities that the tour will be in, guys, is North Carolina. The Charlotte one is in NC, and then we have Baltimore after that, and then there is Atlanta. Each one of those conferences has a different agenda, so you might want to check out what's on the agenda. They're all investment related or money making related. But for example, Charlotte, you'll be able to sit down and slow down and create your business, look through how do you put your wholesale business together, or property management or real estate business together. And we're also investing there, and that's going to be a little different than Baltimore, which is different than Atlanta. So three different things kind of going on. Some of you guys will probably see you at all three. But I did want to make sure Renata got on, shared why, and also so that the people who did send me information understand that when I'm asking, I'm not just asking because I have nothing else to do, guys. I'm asking for your information, or for you to, so that I can connect you to the right people.
And be
Right.
prepared for more questions when she asks you, and you give don't make up stuff and send it to her because she will drill you to make sure that you know what you're talking about.
And
And I don't
again,
blame her.
guys,
You have to make sure people are ready before you put them, before you connect them to people that you know. You know.
and also before you put them in a situation that they're going to fail in.
Yeah.
And that's why I always say I'm never going to put you guys in a predicament that you're going to fail. You may feel like you don't have a parachute, but I am your parachute. So everybody in that room knew that you were with me. So I knew
Yep.
that I could leave you and that you would still be taken care of. Like,
Mhm.
they ain't nobody gonna be leaving you on the side of the road or any of that kind of stuff, because they know I'm gonna come get them. So I'm never
Mhm.
gonna put you guys in a situation where you're going to fail. Now, yes, you may be uncomfortable, but in order to grow,
Yeah.
you gotta have a little pressure. You have to be a little uncomfortable,
Yep.
right? But if
Definitely.
you'll look around and be like, oh, I see why I needed to be here. I see
Mhm.
why I needed to be a little uncomfortable,
Mhm.
and showing up because I needed to be in this space. I needed to see this, or whatever it is, whatever position or predicament I put you guys in. And one of the things that I always laugh, because Maisha and my team can tell you, they always say, I throw them out there and do stuff, and I'm like, but did you die?
I know. I know. I was scared. I was scared and uncomfortable, but that's what I needed. I needed that.
That's
I
right. I'm
needed
like, but did you die?
it. No, I made it. I'm here.
You are here and better connected than where you were
Mhm.
a week ago,
Yep.
with adding some more people to your network and all those
Yep.
kind of things. And I'm talking, guys, people who run Bitcoin operations and all kind of
Mhm.
stuff are there.
Yep.
So you've got to be able to understand that Auntie is not, she's not for everybody, but nothing I do is coming from a bad place. But I will push y'all because, like I tell y'all, some folks ain't gonna let y'all know that the stuff is raggedy or tacky or whatever when
Mm-hmm.
we need to level up. So thank you, Renata. I don't think
You're
any.
welcome.
Somebody said, "Can I use that?" Yeah, use whatever you find. Uh, Someone said, "Pressure makes diamonds and irritation makes pearls."
Yeah.
So you guys, when you see Renata around in North Carolina and stuff, y'all step on up to her. She's a one of the newest developers that we're all connecting with. So Renata, want to thank
Oh,
you.
thank you. Whoever that is that said, I'm proud of you, Renata. Thank you.
Yeah,
It
we
just
can't
says
see who that
Facebook
is
user.
until we get on Facebook. We'll be able to see it, but here we
Oh,
can't
okay.
see who the folks are. So, guys, I'll see you guys later. I've got to run. I got to get to these attorneys real quick, and I will talk to y'all later.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.